Good morning, everybody. This is Bernadette. How are you today? It's March 1, and I think it's a beautiful day. So we are very happy to be back here, and we have a lot of things on our plate. Not only do I fly to Dubai on Friday to be on the Dubai Boat Show, but I'm also will stay there for World Art Dubai and another trade show. I don't know. It's about interior design. I tell about that. I'll get back to you later about it. But we're also organizing some events on trade shows, which is completely new for us. So that's very exciting. And we have some new clients who likes to be promoted by us. So it's an exciting time. Now, in that time, yesterday, I was on the Mobile World Congress in Barcelona. A lot of you will probably heard about it, but let me tell you, it's the world's largest exhibition for the mobile industry, organized by GSM Association and held annually in Barcelona, Spain. They actually also in Shanghai. It's a conference where industry leaders, manufacturers, tech people, everybody will do anything with tech. Lots of entrepreneurs, lots of startups. They are get together and just share the latest mobile technologies. Well, you can understand that that world, that trade show is very impressive. I must say, well, by the time we were there, I needed an aspirin because of the traffic, because of all the lights. You go there, everything is moving, robots on the floor, lots of people. Anyway, I'm going to discuss this with you. Now, I have to be honest, I do not know everything about technique, especially not with the latest technique. So because of that, it's a topic where we are I don't have everything in the house. And that's why we these days have an event journalist. His name is Jesse van Roon. He's an IT engineer. And what he does, he goes with us to IT tech trade shows, but also trade shows for transport. For example, in June, he goes with us to where we have the expo in flight industry. He also going to boat shows, and he probably will also be sent to trade show for cars. These are all topics are a little bit too technical for us, and he enjoys it. So he's here today to talk to us about Mobile World Congress Barcelona. Hi, Jesse. How are you today?
Good morning. It's busy. And you?
I know. It's the time of the year. There's a lot going on, but I'm really happy that you made the time yesterday to be with me on the trade show. As you know, my technical knowledge is not all that, at least not the ones going on now. But what a day it was. Didn't you think it was so busy? It was so crowded there?
It was very busy. There were a lot of people interested in IT and technology, and especially the future of connections.
Yeah, actually, to be honest, I talked there with people from Australia, from Korea. I mean, they flew only for the Mobile World Congress to Barcelona. That's amazing. I think it's the biggest one I've ever been on, actually. Last year I was there too, but it was still a little bit of Corona, and so there were a lot of space in between stands. It was a whole different situation now. So we can talk about a very successful trade show yesterday. Now I was explaining what Mobile World Congress is, but I want to know from you, being there yesterday, our listeners, they are entrepreneurs, they are investors, they are people who have lots to do with entrepreneurship and businesses. So tell me, why do you think that it was a really good trade show for our listeners?
Well, the Mobile World Congress is mostly for companies to show off their new technology, but it's also a good expo to see what the future of mobility is working remotely. It is also to show new products that are going on the market, possibly this year. Maybe they were already on. They released last year, but they want to show off again. It's just a big collaboration also between markets and to see how people can work together.
I think so too. I was there yesterday, and I noticed that I was very inspired when I went back, and I'm not even that focused on tech, but when I went back, I had so much new collaborations. I saw new products, and also I'm very interested in remote working. As everybody know, I love travel, so there's always a way to make it even easier to work remotely, or to make the quality of your product better. Of I think the whole collaboration thing. Actually, this is the year of the collaboration for us, 2023 with EuropeanLife. So that was a really great combination. Did you see anything new for remote workers? Did you see something there that you think they should know that?
I saw mostly it was a big expo on connectivity with 5G connections and 6G to how it works and all that. There were also a lot of mobile companies to show off their foldable phones or foldable computers to make working remotely more easier
Tell me about
or
this
more portably.
foldable phones, foldable computers. That's something, if you didn't see it, you probably don't know
Wouldn't
what you're
believe
talking
it.
about. No, you wouldn't believe it. No, I think so too. Tell me about it.
So, for example, Samsung had released, for example, the Fold or the Flip, the Samsung Galaxy Flip or Fold, which the Flip is like the old flip phones, but more modernized. And there's also the phone. So you have a small, just a normal screen as a phone, but you can also fold it open and then it becomes a tablet. The
And
same,
with the tablet, you mean also you can also type on it. You can also do.
exactly, just like a normal phone, but more in a tablet form.
Wow, that's good.
And they also did that with laptops and tablets, so you can work as a normal laptop, but if you want to work on a tablet, you can, for example, fold it so you wouldn't be able to use the keyboard, or you can just remove the keyboard entirely and then work as a tablet.
And what was the brand again? Who bring that on the market?
Well,
Samsung?
there's a Samsung which has the Galaxy Fold, and Oppo now also released one, which is the N2 Flip and the N2 Fold.
Okay, which one do you like the best?
They're both equally good, but if you want to go, for example, cheaper, I would go with Oppo. It doesn't matter about the price and quality, I would go for Samsung.
Really? Okay, okay. Well, everybody listening, check it out. It's really worth it. I thought it was very intrigued, especially because I love remote working. Was there any stand you think stood out, like really was, different than anything, or bigger or more interesting for you?
There were multiple ones, but the ones I was more interested in was a startup that is collaborated with Vueling and IAG, which is the owner of Vueling, and they designed a wheel tuck. So what it means is instead of paying the airport to push their plane back, they can do it themselves with a little motor attached to the front wheels, therefore
Okay.
saving also money and time.
So for who is this interesting? You.
It's interesting for airlines, but also interesting for people with a private jet, for
That's, yeah.
especially BBJ, which is a business jet created by Boeing. and also the ACJ, which is the corporate jet from Airbus. Those are
Right.
big planes, so a lot of people fit in there, and with that they don't have to pay as much money to the airport to fly.
Wow. Well, I can imagine a lot of listeners who are having a private jet. I don't know how many there are, but this is very valuable information. Um, Now, do you think that there are things in that whole trade show that could be improved?
It's I cannot compare with last year's, but but that was also because of COVID, so it was a really reduced the expo. But this year it was really big, and there were a lot of people, a lot of businesses there. I would say there is not a lot to improve from what I've seen. I would need to go to another one, but to
Yeah,
compare it.
right. Also, not a small thing like the traffic, or I remember when we that was I mean, I must say if I go to a lot of trade shows. But and it's hard if you have a trade show with so many visitors. There's always something that doesn't work the way it is. Well, of course, the traffic on the street was horrible, to be honest. It was so much, but of course, that's the way it goes when you have such a popular trade show. But the thing I really liked here in Barcelona, I've been there a lot. It's from the Vira Barcelona, is that the way they manage the food, it's amazing. So many people, and of course you can go outside. Although, let me say that this morning there was sort of snow in Spain, so normally it's good weather, and so you can just go outside. You have all this food trucks, kind of restaurants, and you hardly stay in line, which I think is very good. What I also liked was this year was the amount of startups. Did you see the amount of startups? Wasn't that amazing?
There was a lot of startups, yes.
Yeah, yeah,
There was also a big hall, so it was a little bit difficult to find out which was which.
yeah.
But at the end, if you walk through it, you find your way, and then you can actually see what every startup is.
Yeah, and also I thought when I walked there, I thought this is a trade show also very interesting for investors, because I talked to a lot of startups yesterday, and a lot of them were also still looking for investors, and and they had the most amazing thing. So that was good. I actually also had two favorite. One was definitely not a startup, but I really was interesting in them, and that's Business Finland. I really wanted to see them and talk to them. First of all, in one way or another, I don't see much of Finland if we talk about Europe. And then Finland sent us a press release, and it was about 6G development, which is like walking in front of this kind of development, which was amazing to me. Thinking of Finland, I more see like travel and reindeers, but that's not the case at all. So I thought it was time to focus a little bit on Finland, and I was very surprised. There was a lot going on in the country. I really went there to talk to them, and we agreed that we should promote Finland more. So we will have an extra article next week on the website. Keep your eye open for their 6G development program. But Business Finland was one of my favorite. I talked to Lotta. Thank you so much, Lotta, for your time. But another one I really liked was completely different. And that was actually one from Korea. And then you have to realize that there are many stands. And then in the middle of this hall with all the startups, everybody has computers and microphones and all kind of technical things. And then there is a fridge with salad in the middle of nowhere. I like that. So I want to know the story. I went there and I talked to Tyson, who was the owner of this amazing development. And why he was there, in that fridge, It's called Dream Farm Soul. It's an indoor hydroponic gardening system. And what you can do is in your house, just if you have an apartment, in the fridge, you can grow your salad. You can grow your own vegetables. They have a whole system. It's so amazing. I thought that would be nice for everybody who thinking of being healthy, but also everybody in an apartment don't having a garden. You should see this. So I'll make sure that on the website with the podcast, I'll make sure that there is a link to their website to for you to see. But yeah, that was fun to see. So go there and find out. Okay, Jess, any tips, any new developments, anything you think, okay, if you are an entrepreneur, if you're a listener from this podcast from European Life, this is what you should know. Are there more new, is it going fast with the new developments? Are there big change coming up or
There are, from what we also saw, there was also a lot of companies promoting 6G, for example, with Finland.
Yeah.
And there was also a lot with 5G. And from what I know is 5G is still starting up. So there are a lot of companies who are already integrated 5G in their company, but there are a lot of companies who haven't yet. And also just mobile companies who aren't ready for 5G.
Right.
And now they're already starting with 6G. So it's interesting to see which one is going to go faster, the development. Is it going to be 6G or 5G? But what I do know is for those two, there are going to need to be a lot of antennas placed in cities or in villages to be able to be connected with those systems or networks.
Right. Okay, but it's good to know that it's on the way. It's good to know to keep your eye open and maybe do some research about it, see if it's something for you. I was just wondering one more thing. Did you see anything with virtual reality or augmented reality or something like that? Because we love to work with that, but did you see some?
The one that I saw, which the biggest that I noticed with virtual reality or artificial reality, that would be HTC, which is a company that makes virtual reality glasses or goggles, really. And they're starting to go smaller. So now first it was a big system that you had to put on your head with also integrated headphones, and now they're planning on going smaller, but still with the reality, so you can immerse yourself in the game or in the video that you're watching.
Right. That might be very interesting for a lot of brands, especially when you have brands you want to show to the public. I can imagine with fashion or jewelry that this is something to make that completely wow experience for your clients, right?
It really depends, because also, especially since virtual reality is good for promotions, especially, for example, with real estate, if they don't have the apartment or the house that hasn't been created yet, and they do want to show off their creation or the building they are selling, they can use those goggles so they can walk around in that place without being any furniture or being any walls.
Yeah, that will be fun. I'm actually kind of curious if we are flying to Dubai, going to Dubai Boat Show, and because it's also a very technical one, Jesse will always also join me there to see what kind of new developments we have. Maybe watch out for a little bit sustainability, but I can imagine that it's also very interesting to have virtual reality with boats, because not every boat wants to go to Dubai and crossing the whole world. So I'm curious if they will have that on a boat show as well.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. I think let's see and be focused on it for the boat show we're going to this weekend. So anyway, I think it's a good improvement that virtual reality glasses are going to be smaller. To be honest, I've been in shows, lots of shows, and with the whole glasses kind of thing, it was always a pain because you have to put it on your hair and your hair is going everywhere and it's too big. I don't know, it is too big. So I think that's a development I really be happy with. If it's going to be smaller glasses and you can use it much easier in your product presentations or in your own events you have to please the public. Okay, did we cover everything? Yes, sir.
I think also for the virtual reality glasses, I think it's also a big upgrade and improvement also for healthcare. Because then if they have those glasses, for example, they can do an entire scan of someone's body. And then without opening the person, they could open, with the scan they made, they can in virtual reality see inside the body.
They can see inside or can they walk inside? Okay, that's kind of scary.
Both.
Oh, that's kind of scary.
They can or take apart the body so they can see if there's a tumor or if there's an issue with the veins or the heart.
Wow.
So with those it's going to be very useful in healthcare also.
Right. Well, thank you so much for doing this review with me and joining me with this trade show. For all the listeners, if you didn't go to Mobile World Congress Barcelona this year, I hope we inspired you to visit that trade show next year because you have to be there to see what kind of world we're going through. Well, thank you so much, Jesse. For all the listeners, thank you so much for joining me. And go to our website, www.europeanlifemedia.com, and see our podcast, but also go check out Business Finland, go to the Dream Farm Soul from the Korea Guide to have your own vegetables in the house. You would love it. And check out our articles next week. We probably will have new articles about Mobile World, but also, of course, our reviews from Dubai International Boat Show. Thank you so much for today. And for now, I wish you all a great weekend and hope you join me next week. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening today. Please subscribe and share this podcast. Do you have a question or a story to share? Please find us at podcast@EuropeanLifeMedia.com.